morning. This is Kasturi Day. Today I am going to continue with the discussion of the question answer series of the circulatory system in humans. Okay. So in my last video I stopped with the difference between I was discussing. So I'll start with the difference between pulmonary vein and pulmonary artery. Pulmonary vein, it is the only vein in our body which carries oxygenated blood to the left auricle of the heart from the lungs. Okay, and pulmonary artery is the only artery in our body which carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle of the heart to the lungs. Okay, so pulmonary veins walls are thin, okay, and pulmonary arteries walls are thick and elastic. There are walls present in the pulmonary vein. The walls are absent in the pulmonary vein, whereas walls are present in the pulmonary artery. Okay. And then we come to hypertension and palpitation, difference between hypertension and palpitation. So hypertension is a condition in which the force of the blood against the arterial walls is too high. Okay, and palpitation is the movement of the heart when it beats faster than usual. Okay, so hypertension BP is greater than equal to 140/90. If it is 140/90, that is systolic and diastolic pressure. If it is 140/90, then it is hypertension. Okay, and palpitation, the heart rate, if it is greater than 100 beats per minute, then it is palpitation. And hypertension it is assessed by sphygmomanometer, whereas palpitation is assessed by electrocardiogram or ECG. Okay, now answer the following questions briefly. First one is, what is plasma? Plasma is the yellowish liquid component of the blood that holds the blood cells in the whole blood in suspension. Okay, it holds the blood cells in the whole blood in suspension form. It makes up about 55% of the body's total volume, blood volume. Okay, now list the valves present in the heart. There are 4 types of valves which are present in the heart. What is a tricuspid valve between right auricle and right ventricle, bicuspid valve or mitral valve between left auricle and left ventricle, pulmonary semilunar valve between right ventricle and pulmonary vein, and pulmonary artery. Okay, and then aortic semilunar valve, which is present between left ventricle and aorta. Okay, then what is the pacemaker of the heart? It is the SA node or sinoatrial node. Okay, this is called the pacemaker of the heart. Now, what is double circulation? It is one complete round. In one complete round, the blood passes twice through the heart in 2 separate but closed loops. Okay, in closed loops, it passes twice through the heart. This is known as double circulation. The first loop is pulmonary circulation and the second loop is systemic circulation. Okay, then next question, which side of the heart contains the oxygenated blood? It is the left side of the heart. What prevents the blood from flowing in the wrong direction in the heart? That is blood valves. Backflow. The blood cannot flow back because of the valves. Now, name the wall which separates the 2 auricles. It is interauricular septum or interarterial septum. Then write the names of the 2 major veins, pulmonary vein and vena cava. Okay. Then name the double-layered protective covering of the heart. It is pericardium. Okay. Name the 4 blood groups in human beings. On what basis are they named? The 4 blood groups are A, B, AB and O, and on the basis of the presence or absence of specific antigen on the RBC, they are named as these groups. Okay. Then answer the following questions in detail. First question, explain the different types of blood groups which are found in human beings. Depending on the presence of the proteins, that is antigens and antibodies, human blood is classified into four groups: Rh positive and Rh positive and Rh negative. Okay. So the first is A, contains antigen A and antibody B, whereas B blood group contains antigen B and antibody A. Now AB contains antigen AB and no antibody, whereas O blood group contains no antigen but AB antibody. Now, antigens, what are antigens? Antigens are proteins which are present at the surface of the RBCs. There are A antigen and B antigen, and antibodies are proteins which are present in the plasma. They are antibody A and antibody B. These antigens and antibodies work against each other. When blood containing the opposite antigen is transfused into the body of a person, the antibodies of the recipient will attack the donated blood and cause clumping, or you can say clotting type of thing happens. Then this may cause blood infection and even death. Therefore, while transfusing blood, we must be very careful in matching the blood groups of the donor and the recipient. Then blood group O is known as universal donor, that is, they can give blood to the persons of any blood group. Okay, whereas blood group AB is a universal recipient because he or she or the person of the AB blood group can receive blood from any person of any blood group, from a person of any blood group, but can donate to a person of AB blood group only. Okay, another antigen factor, that is Rh factor, that is found on the surface of RBCs, which was first discovered in rhesus monkey. Okay, here the person having the Rh factor is Rh positive, whereas without this Rh factor, the person is Rh negative. When Rh positive blood is transferred into an Rh negative person, the recipient forms antibodies against the Rh positive factor, but no complications occurs after the first transfusion. On the first transfusion, if this is given, this Rh positive blood is given to Rh negative person, there is no complexities arising. But because Rh antibodies are short-lived, in case there is a second transfusion, that is, in second time the Rh positive blood is given, transfused to another Rh negative person, after a short period the recipient's antibodies will attack the transfused blood and cause confusions, and therefore during blood transfusion, the blood groups of the donors and the recipient as well as their Rh factor has to be matched. It has to be matched to prevent clumps of RBCs. Okay. Now, describe the chambers of the heart with the help of a neat and well-developed diagram. See, human heart has 4 chambers, 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. The auricles are the upper chambers and ventricles are the lower chambers, and all the chambers are separated from each other by muscular walls, that is septum. 3 types of septums are there. First one is interatrial septum, separating the right and the left atrium. Interventricular septum, separating the right and the left ventricle, whereas atrioventricular septum, separating upper chambers and the lower chambers of the heart. These septums separate these septums are there to prevent the mixing of the pure and the impure blood. Okay, now ventricles have thicker walls than the auricles, as greater pressure is required to pump the blood out of the heart. In addition to these septum, there are valves present in the heart. The walls are tricuspid wall between right atrium and right ventricle, bicuspid or mitral wall between left atrium and left ventricle, pulmonary semilunar valve between right ventricle and pulmonary artery, aortic semilunar valve between left ventricle and aorta. Then there are blood vessels which enter and leave the heart. They are known as great blood vessels. They are superior vena cava, which bring deoxygenated blood from the upper parts of the body and enter the right atrium or auricle. Then inferior vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from the lower parts of the body and enter into the right auricle. Then we come to pulmonary arteries, which take out the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs for oxygenation. Then pulmonary veins, they carry oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left auricle. Okay, now we come to systemic aorta, or simply aorta, which carries oxygenated blood away from the left ventricle to the rest of the body except the heart muscles, that is taken by coronary arteries. Okay, now coronary arteries, they supply oxygenated blood to the cardiac muscles, that is the heart muscle cells of the cardiac muscle cells of the heart, or heart muscle cells. Then this is the diagram. See, you can see the diagram. These are the two auricles. These are the two auricles. These are the two ventricles, and this is the cardiac muscle. These are the cardiac muscle. Okay, and this is the septum, interventricular septum. This is, then this is the aorta. Okay, and this is the pulmonary artery, blue color, which is arising from the right ventricle. Okay, then into the right auricle, see, from the top it is the superior vena cava, and from below it is the inferior vena cava, pouring the blood inside the right auricle. Then from the left ventricle, right ventricle, the left auricle, see, pulmonary vein is coming into the right left auricle. Okay, and this is the pulmonary vein. Okay, this is the right pulmonary vein. Okay, from the lungs, it is entering from the lungs. So this is the diagram of the heart with the four chambers and the great vessels. Okay, this is the chambers of the heart with the walls also. See, the walls are present here. Between the right auricle and right ventricle is the tricuspid valve. Between the right or left auricle and left ventricle is the bicuspid or mitral valve. Here is the pulmonary valve between the left ventricle and the vein, that is pulmonary vein. Then the aorta, in the aorta also, between the left ventricle and the aorta, there is this is the aortic valve. Okay, so this is the diagrammatic representation of this heart, chambers of the heart. Okay, so please go through this. I stop here. I'll continue with the rest of the questions in my next video. If you have any doubt, please do write in the comment box, and you can also give suggestions to improve my video so that it can help you in your studies more better. And you please don't forget to press the like button so that it can produce me some enthusiasm in me, and I can produce you some more good videos for you. And if you are a new viewer to my channel and not subscribed yet, please do subscribe to get the notification of my next video. Thank you.